Hello. The Bell family heard it before they saw anything. Knocking on the walls, chains dragging across the floor, stones pelting the roof in the dead of night. And then the voice came. It began in 1817 in a remote farming settlement in Robertson County, Tennessee. John Bell had built a prosperous life on his land along the Red River. He had a wife, Lucy, and 7 children. He was a respected member of the local Baptist church. By every account, life on the Bell farm was ordinary. The family had lived on their property for over a decade without incident. They raised crops. They kept livestock. They were known as decent, God-fearing people. Nothing about them suggested what was coming. Then something changed. It started with sounds John Bell couldn't explain, scratching inside the walls, gnawing, like an animal trapped in the wood. He searched the house. He found nothing. The sounds grew louder over weeks. Then they became physical. Family members reported their bed covers being yanked from their beds while they slept. The children woke with welts on their faces as though they had been slapped. John Bell began experiencing a strange paralysis in his jaw, making it difficult to eat or speak. These episodes grew more frequent and more severe over months. What followed made the Bell family the center of one of the most documented and discussed cases in American folklore. John Bell confided in his neighbor and close friend, James Johnston. Johnston spent a night in the house and reportedly left shaken. He told Bell, "I cannot account for this disturbance." Word spread. Visitors came from across Tennessee and beyond, including, according to well-circulated accounts from the period, General Andrew Jackson himself. The story goes that Jackson's wagon froze inexplicably on the road approaching the farm, and that his party was physically assaulted during the night. Whether Jackson truly visited remains debated by historians, but the story was being told within years of the events. Whatever was in the Bell home appeared to distinguish between family members. Lucy Bell was treated gently by the presence. It reportedly sang hymns near her when she was ill. It brought her fruit when she was unwell. John Bell received no such mercy. The force seemed to despise him specifically. It struck him. It mimicked his voice. His jaw episodes worsened. He lost weight. In the winter of 1820, John Bell died. A vial of strange liquid was found near his body. Family members said the presence laughed when he died. A physician could offer no clear cause of death. But here's what the history books never mentioned. The Bell Witch did not stay inside the house. It spoke. It carried on conversations. It quoted scripture from memory, sometimes simultaneously reciting 2 sermons from different churches miles apart at the exact same moment. Witnesses documented this in writing. It knew things about people it had never met. It predicted events that later occurred. And when it was directly asked what it was, the answers changed every time. Investigators and researchers have proposed several competing explanations for the Bell case over the past 2 centuries. The first theory is fraud, specifically involving the Bell family itself. Some researchers have argued that Betsy Bell, the youngest daughter, was the origin of the disturbances. She was known to have been in a troubled relationship with a young man named Joshua Gardner at the time. The theory holds that she, perhaps consciously, perhaps not, produced the physical events and voices as expressions of psychological distress. This is the most commonly cited skeptical explanation. But there was a problem. The phenomena continued when Betsy was not present, and the level of theological knowledge demonstrated in the entity's speech was well beyond what a teenage girl in rural Tennessee would have been expected to possess. A second theory centers on a woman named Kate Batts, a neighbor with whom John Bell had a land dispute. Some accounts suggest Bell cheated Batts in a business transaction, and that she cursed him before witnesses. The presence eventually told people its name was Kate. The local community began calling it Kate's Witch, then simply Kate. Others argue that this was retrofitted, that the name came after the legend, not before. A third explanation, proposed by some modern researchers, involves environmental and psychological factors. The farmhouse may have had poor ventilation, mold, or carbon monoxide exposure. These conditions can cause hallucinations, paralysis, personality changes, and paranoia. And yet, carbon monoxide does not quote scripture. It does not slap children and leave welts. It does not selectively spare one family member while targeting another. And then came something nobody expected. In 1934, a man named Martin Ingram published a manuscript he claimed to have compiled from a diary written by John Bell's son, Richard Williams Bell, in 1846. The manuscript, titled Our Family Trouble, contained detailed first-hand accounts of the events as experienced from inside the household. When historians later examined the text, some concluded it appeared consistent with a genuine 19th century document. Others disputed this. The original diary, if it ever existed as Ingram described, has never been located. It remains the only purported first-hand written record from inside the Bell family, and its authenticity has never been definitively established or disproved. The Bell Witch case sits at an unusual intersection in American history. It predates the spiritualism movement that would sweep the country in the 1840s. It was documented not by credulous outsiders, but by neighbors, church elders, and community figures who had no obvious motive to fabricate it. And yet no physical evidence survives. No object, no body, no verified document written in John Bell's own hand. What the case reveals is something about how communities process the inexplicable. In a world without the vocabulary of psychology, without the tools of forensic investigation, a farming community in Tennessee encountered something they could not explain and reached for the only frameworks available to them. Those frameworks were theological. They were supernatural. They were, for the people living through it, completely real. One detail remains without a satisfying explanation. Multiple independent witnesses, people with no known connection to each other, reported the same specific detail: the entity's ability to speak in two locations at once. This was not a claim made by the Bell family alone. It was corroborated separately by people who did not know each other had reported it. No theory currently accounts for this. The Bell Witch Cave still stands on the property in Adams, Tennessee. People visit it. Some report nothing. Some report something they struggle to describe afterward. The land is still there. The case is still open, in the sense that matters most. No one has fully explained it. The knocking started in 1817. In Robertson County, Tennessee, a family heard something inside their walls that should not have been there. John Bell died without a clear cause. His daughter's life was disrupted in ways she never fully explained, and the voice that called itself Kate never said what it actually was. What force speaks from two places at once, knows the private business of strangers, and leaves no trace except the testimony of the people who heard it? The Unsolved Vault. New cases every week.